Hey guys, I'm really glad to see you again. I'm genuinely so happy you all liked the last challenge video I did 3 years ago. So we're back with some more Pokemon Fire Red. Can you tell which Pokemon game is my favorite? Last time we banned the use of any items. This time we're banning the use of moves. That's right, no moves. Tackle? Gone. Bubble Beam? Forbidden. Ice Punch? Can't use it. Fissure? Why would you ever use it? TM 47? Steel Wing? More like... Basically, during battle, we're never allowed to use a move. Outside of battle, we'll have to make an exception for Cut, Surf, and Strength, but we won't be allowed to use non-essential moves like Fly, Flash, Dig, Teleport, Sweet Scent, or Soft Boiled. So I've got no idea if anybody's done this challenge before, but when I first had the idea for it and started recording footage, I couldn't find anybody else on YouTube who had. Granted, this video has been 2 years in the making, so perhaps that's changed. Now, I hate to set this challenge off to a bad start, but we kind of run headfirst into a brick wall with the very first battle in the game. The first rival battle cannot be avoided, and obviously we can't run away. We have no other Pokemon. The only item we can possibly have right now is the single potion from our PC, which we can't even use to waste one turn because we're at full health. So, yeah. There's nothing we can do here but use a move. Now, here's what I'm thinking. If we did have a way to just waste our turn and do nothing, we still lose this fight every time. Which is fine. Losing's not an issue since we progress whether we win or not. Since this battle is inconsequential and thus gets ignored in many challenge runs, I'm just going to do the same for this one. So we're just gonna growl over and over until we faint. Beyond this point though, if we're ever forced to use a move again, the run is over. Since I sort of have to shirk the rules to get the run going, I punish myself by choosing Charmander, which will make the first 2 gym battles much more difficult, and I waste the 1 potion I do have. After the battle, we pick up the free potions on Route 1 and in Viridian City, then deliver Oak's parcel, running from any wild encounters along the way. Our first major objective is to defeat Brock in Pewter City, and now that we have some Pokeballs, our first order of business is to fill our team with Pokemon. As of right now, our only way to damage opponents is with recoil damage from Struggle, so we're going to need a team that can take a lot of hits. I decided to catch 3 Spearows and 2 Rattata, with Thick filling the 6th spot. I'm guessing we're gonna need to be around level 20 anyway to beat Brock, and of all the Pokemon we're reasonably able to have this early in the game, Fearow has the highest HP and defense, while Raticate has the highest without a rock-type weakness. Brock's Onix with Rock Tomb is the only rock-type move we'll see though, so we'll probably only need 2 Raticates to take hits from it. Thick and 3 Fearows will be stronger against everything else. Now, if you're like me when I was first contemplating this challenge, you may be thinking, okay, that's all well and good, but first you need a way to spend turns in battle without using moves. We don't have very much money, so we can't stock up and just use a potion or some other item every single turn until the end of each battle. However, now that we have more than just a single Pokemon, we have the option to switch our Pokemon out. By just switching to another Pokemon every single turn, we can waste turns for free without using moves, and all we have to think about is how to distribute the damage we're taking, and occasionally use a potion or antidote if necessary, which also wastes a turn. Except to make matters worse, I have to be extremely conservative with my items leading up to the battle with Brock. In fact, I cannot use a single item other than the 5 Pokeballs needed to catch my team. I only attempt to catch level 5 Spearow and Rattata and reset if I don't catch these Pokemon with the first throw. I actually happened to encounter a shiny level 5 Rattata while I'm searching on Route 2. I'm pretty sure that's the first shiny I've ever seen in any of my own playthroughs of a Pokemon game. Real shame that it broke out of the first Pokeball, eh? I'll explain why I'm being so cheap when we get to Brock, but this means we can't use any potions during battles right now, and we're going to be taking a lot of damage. I'm not even going to attempt any trainer battles for a while yet. For now, I have to level up by fighting Wild Metapod and Kakuna, and by fighting, I of course mean swapping back and forth until my opponents run out of moves and struggle themselves to death. And man, is this a grind. A Pokemon using Struggle has to deal roughly 4 times its HP in damage to us before it faints from recoil, so I have to run to the Pokemon Center to heal after every battle, and it takes about 12 Metapods or Kakunas just to get my team up to level 6, and these fuckers just do not want to appear. It takes several minutes just to encounter one, and then each battle takes about 10 minutes, even with battle animations turned off. Speaking of which, did you know that turning off battle animations doesn't turn off switching animations? Isn't that fun? After a while spent grinding, I recall one important little detail. There's a bug catcher near the end of Viridian Forest who has 3 Pokemon, and the first he sends out is a level 7 Metapod. Obviously we're no match for a team of 3, but that's exactly what we want. Beating only his first Metapod is very doable, even with my entire team at level 5, and losing to his remaining Pokemon will allow us to re-battle him over and over again. His Metapod gives about 2.5 times the experience as the wild Metapod and Kakuna we've been fighting, and we don't have to run around like an idiot for several minutes trying to find it. Except then I come to the horrible realization that once I'm down to my last Pokemon, I can no longer swap to waste turns and I'll be forced to start wasting items. God damn it. Many hours later, I have another idea. First, I run around until I come across a wild Weedle and let 2 of my Pokemon get poisoned. Then, I challenge the same bug catcher and make sure to never switch the poison Pokemon in, keeping them alive until the Metapod knocks itself out, then carefully swap my Pokemon to let Caterpie knock them out one by one until my very last Pokemon is sent out and instantly faints from poison damage, ending the battle. Not a bad idea, but it turned out to be somewhat inconsistent and not that much faster, so I just go back to fighting Wild Metapod and Kakuna. Fortunately, as I level up, I'm able to take on multiple battles between each trip to the Pokemon Center. Once my Pokemon are around level 17, I begin fighting trainers to start earning money, and I thought I'd include this clip for my first trainer battle in particular because I could not possibly have had more of a close call than this. Oh, and by the way, yes, I've exceeded 50 hours of in-game time before my first trainer battle outside of Oak's lab. Rather than hoping for decent poison luck against the bug catchers with Weedles, I run around until 3 of my Pokemon get paralyzed by Thundershocks from Wild Pikachu. Thundershock only has 10% paralysis chance though, so we have to hope we don't take too much damage waiting for it to happen. I then only swap between the paralyzed Pokemon against the bug catcher's Weedles until they run out of poison stings, and we can mostly avoid having to deal with poison. On a more technical note, our Pokemon have unusually high defense relative to their other stats, and I realized that by fighting nothing but Metapod and Kakuna, we've been earning tons of defense EVs. As a result, we take very little damage from Struggle. While Struggle normally only deals 25% of the damage dealt back to the user in recoil, our opponents still lose a minimum of 1 HP on every hit, and if we're only taking 1 or 2 points of damage per hit ourselves, that means the recoil is actually 50 to 100%, allowing us to last much longer in battle. Unfortunately, even after our entire team is evolved and at level 20, we're still no match for this bug catcher with 2 Weedles and a Kakuna. I'll have to skip him for now, but luckily we don't actually need the 84 bucks we'd get for beating him. Once we've defeated all the other bug catchers in Viridian Forest, the optional battle with Asswipe on Route 22, and the camper in Brock's gym, it's time to take on Brock. Here's where my earlier money grubbing comes into play. I've collected every item and beaten every trainer possible, and I haven't used a single item aside from the 5 Pokeballs I caught my team with. Before the battle, I head to the Pewter City Pokemart and burn all my money on Pokeballs. Yes, Pokeballs, and here's why. Brock's Geodude goes down easily since its only damaging move is Tackle. Onix, however, has 3. Tackle, Rock Tomb, and Bind. In addition to dealing damage over time, Bind also prevents the target from switching out for 2 to 5 turns. If we can't switch, we can't run, and we can't fight, our only option left is to use items. Antidotes cannot be used on healthy Pokemon, so we can't waste turns with them. We can use potions, but they're a little pricey at $300 a piece. This leaves us with one last option. While we obviously can't catch another trainer's Pokemon, we can throw a Pokeball during trainer battles as a way to forfeit our turn. Pokeballs only cost $200 a piece, and by strategically wasting turns with a combination of Pokeballs and potions, we can make the most of our potions while also maximizing the number of turns we can stall. See, Bind has 20 PP and 75 accuracy. Suppose Bind actually does hit 75% of the time, and lasts for the average 3 turns every time. That leaves us with 45 turns where we'll be unable to switch and have to use an item. However, if Onix uses Bind again while we're still bound from a previous use, it does not extend the duration, so the total may turn out to be several turns fewer. Taking into account our defeat and the wasted potion in the first battle with Asswipe, and the 5 Pokeballs we used to catch our team, we can have a maximum of 5 potions, 2 Pokeballs, 2 antidotes, and about $3,800 by the time we reach Brock. Brock can't poison us, so we sell our 2 antidotes for another $100. This is enough for us to buy 19 Pokeballs. We did lose 84 bucks by skipping that one bug catcher, but we still have enough for 19 Pokeballs regardless. With these Pokeballs we can have a total of 21, and provided we don't have to use any of our 5 potions against Geodude, we can stall for up to 26 turns of Bind. We'll need some good luck when it comes to Bind's accuracy and duration, but it is very possible we can waste all of Bind's PP. Let's get to it. First attempt goes pretty well, but unfortunately we just don't have enough HP, even with our 5 potions. Bind turns out to deal a lot more passive damage than I expected. I only ever use an item when I'm unable to switch from Bind, and Onix runs out of PP for it when I have a single Pokeball and no potions left, so I think I have the right idea with my item balance here. We just need to have more total HP and take a bit less damage from attacks. That means it's time to grind. After many more hours in Viridian Forest, I raised Denise, Chad, Karen, Siren and Gale up to level 24, but I leave Thick and Brad at level 20. I have an idea here. Second attempt, Geodude is once again not an issue, and we face down Onix with Denise, Brad, and Thick at full health. Onix always spends all 10 Rock Tombs on Brad and Denise right away in an attempt to lower our speed. We get pretty lucky with Onix missing several times, and once it starts using Bind and Tackle, I only swap between Brad and Thick. These two have always had the lowest max HP out of everyone on our team, even more so now that they're 4 levels behind. Because of this, they actually take a lot less passive damage from Bind, and our potions have greater value. Like Rock Tomb, Bind on this attempt also misses what feels unusually often, but this actually results in Brad fainting since I can't risk using a potion on him when he's not bound. That's fine though, since Onix is low on binds at this point. Soon he starts using Struggle, and thanks to some careful HP management, we're able to wear him down without any of our remaining Pokemon fainting. And we actually had 8 Pokeballs and 2 potions left over. There you have it folks, we've beaten Brock and earned the Boulder Badge. Objective complete. Wanna know how long it took? No. You don't. Beating Brock is an enormous game changer for us for 3 big reasons. We have money, we have the running shoes, thank fucking god, and finally, we can catch a whole bunch of different Pokemon now, and there are 2 we'll want to catch right away now that we have access to Route 3. After avoiding any trainers we can, we come to this patch of grass where we'll find our 2 new teammates, Jigglypuff and Nidoran. Jigglypuff's defensive stats aren't much to write home about, but its HP is insane, and it won't be long before we can evolve it with one of the Moonstones we'll pick up in Mount Moon. The real MVP here is going to be Nidoran though. Until now, our only method for dealing damage has been through Struggle Recoil. Nidoran isn't much of a tank, but it has something much better. Poison Point. Nidoran's ability gives us a 30% chance to poison opponents anytime they make contact. Poisoned Pokemon take 1/8 of their max HP and damage every turn, so a lot of our opponents will likely faint long before they exhaust all their moves on us. I'm more interested in the female line since they have better defensive stats, but as luck would have it, female Nidoran has a 1% encounter rate on Route 3 in Fire Red. Whoopee. I fortunately find one before too long and catch it, then catch a male Nidoran as well. We can swap between these 2 until an enemy gets poisoned and then start swapping between tankier Pokemon. This isn't foolproof however, we'll still have to use the Struggle Recoil strategy against other poison types, steel types, and special attackers. I go back and beat the bug catcher we skipped earlier because why not, and then beat most of the trainers on Route 3 and in Mount Moon. We don't have to conserve our items anymore since there's a steady stream of trainers giving us money, so we're free to use potions whenever a battle gets a little dicey. Pokemon with Wrap are still a huge fucking pain though, and I just skip any battles against trainers with Bellsprout or Ekans. We find a Moonstone at the end of the first area and use it on Zig right away to evolve him into a Wigglytuff. No reason to wait. In the next area, I come across a level 10 Geodude, so I go ahead and catch it. Might be useful at some point. There's another Moonstone right before the Super Nerd at the exit of Mount Moon, which will be useful later. For right now though, this Super Nerd is a bit troublesome. His Voltorb is no problem, but his Grimer and Coughing are immune to poison and both know Poison Gas and either Tackle or Pound. Smile and Smile aren't a high enough level yet to take that many attacks without a ton of potions, so we have to run all the way back to Viridian Forest and find some wild Pikachu to paralyze Thick and Denise and let them soak up all the damage without risk of poison. This strategy works great, but wow. I didn't buy any potions beforehand and end up using every last one I have, and it's a pretty close battle, but we managed to win first try. Grab the fuck you fossil and head into Cerulean. Let's go ahead and unload our bag a bit. We can sell a lot of stuff. Ethers, TMs, and a Personberry that cures confusion are all useless to us. I don't want to waste all my money right now, but I do stock up on potions and super potions. Next I beat both the trainers in Misty's gym, then take a crack at Misty herself, but this is a no-go for now. Both of Misty's Pokemon know Recover, making poison damage near useless as they slowly wear us down. It only has 10 PP, but their other attacks can deal a lot of damage in the meantime. I'll probably need quite a few more levels and a few dozen super potions for this. Asswipe is pretty easy, but Nugget Bridge has this last with a Bellsprout that's immune to poison and knows Wrap. You already know what that means. And right after her comes a youngster with an Ekans who's immune to poison and knows Wrap. And Poison Sting, and Bite. The fact it knows Bite means Smile and Smile won't be strong enough to endure all of its attacks, and now that we're in Cerulean, we can't go back to Viridian Forest to get our strongest Pokemon paralyzed, so we're either going to have to use a fuck ton of antidotes and potions, or grind Smile and Smile up to a much higher level. We also need to keep in mind that the Rocket Grunt at the end of the bridge also has an Ekans. I think grinding is the more sensible option here. Grinding is actually quite a bit faster now since we have Poison Point, we're not running from most of our encounters, we don't have to split experience across our entire team, and the Pokemon Center is only a few steps away. In a few hours, Smile and Smile have both evolved and are around level 20, so they should be a lot bulkier. Item quantity is important right now, so I buy a bunch of Pokeballs and regular potions rather than super potions. I also pick up some antidotes since they're dirt cheap and we can probably waste a few turns with them by letting our Pokemon get poisoned. Our luck with Wrap's duration is absolutely absolutely horrible though. After a few attempts, we finally get a battle where we get okay luck with Wrap. We use up every last Pokeball, potion, and super potion we have to stall turns, and on the very next turn after using our last one, Ekans starts using Struggle. Close call, but we pulled through, right? Well, as it turns out, we're still under the effects of Wrap, so we can't switch, and we have no more Pokeballs or healing items we can use. We have one antidote left, but none of our Pokemon are poisoned. We even have one revive, but none of our Pokemon are fainted. Just as I'm about to reset my game, I take one last look through my bag, hoping there's something I could possibly use. And there is. See, much as I fucking love the Kanto remakes and consider them my favorite Pokemon games, I actually grew up with Pokemon Blue, and I didn't play any other Pokemon games until White 2. I've played Gold since then, as well as parts of Soul Silver and Platinum since recording the footage of this run, but my core knowledge of Pokemon is mostly based on Gen 1 mechanics, so I'm not very experienced with berries. For some reason I thought they were only usable in battle passively as a held item, since that's how most people I see tend to use them, but I open my berry bag and I find a single Oran berry that I picked up on Route 3, and I'm able to use it on Smile, and that same turn we're freed from Wrap. Holy shit, man. I can't fucking believe how down to the wire that was. Unfortunately, we now have no items or money. We can sell a revive and 2 rare candies, and after beating the next 2 trainers on Nugget Bridge, we'll have about $6,000, which should buy us enough items for the Rocket Grunt at the end of the bridge, but that means no using items till then, and the next trainer is a lass with 2 Nidoran. Immune to poison. Of course. We're gonna need to grind some more. The 2 Nidoran also happen to know Double Kick, so I swapped Denise and Zig out for Chad and Gale to give us a bit more resistance. Even with Smile and Smile at level 30, the rest of our team at level 25, and buying a super potion from the Pokemart, I still can't win this, so I finally give in and use our Moonstone to evolve Smile into a Nidoqueen. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to do this until after we beat Misty because she's now part ground type, but oh well. But even that isn't enough. We still can't even last long enough for the second Nidoran to start using Struggle. Even considering that her first Nidoran knows Focus Energy, both of them consistently get a bullshit amount of critical hits, which really fucks us over. After many more hours grinding on Route 4, with Smile and Smile at level 40, the rest of our team at level 30, and Smile evolved into a Nidoqueen, I get an attempt that grinds to a halt with Smile and the second Nidoran staring each other down, both one hit from fainting, and I just about skinned myself alive. 2 attempts later, I get decent critical hit luck and just barely squeaked by with the 1 super potion, and finally beat this little asshole with her 2 level 16 Nidoran. The next trainer is level 18 Mankey is a pleasant skip through the park, and as I come to the final Rocket Grunt, I have an idea. I quickly go back to the Pokemon Center and deposit all my Pokemon, withdrawing Zig and the Geodude I caught in Mount Moon, my 2 weakest Pokemon. Then I spend all my money at the Pokemart and return to Nugget Bridge. When we talk to the Rocket Grunt, he gives us a nugget for beating the 5 contest trainers before the battle starts. I allow Zig and Dwayne to faint, using up a total of 5 Pokeballs to waste turns when we can't switch. When we return to the Pokemon Center, I check my bag, and as expected, the nugget is still there. I withdraw my team again, sell the nugget at the Pokemart, buy a bunch of Pokeballs and potions, and return once more to Nugget Bridge, beating the Rocket Grunt first try with a handful of items left over. Guess I could have spared a few potions on that lass after all, huh? Ha ha ha. Now, I never knew that the Grunt will actually give you an additional nugget when you talk to him again, and at this point I went and looked it up, and this is a pretty commonly known exploit that allows you to get infinite nuggets. I won't be using the exploit, and to make it fair, after I win, I actually toss the extra nugget he gave me. I pick up items and beat some trainers on the way to Bill's house, including a required battle against a picnicker with 2 level 15 Nidoran! At least this time I can use more potions. I also catch an Oddish while I'm here. A grass type will be really useful against Misty, and poison immunity is always nice. We find Bill up to his usual activities, then return to Cerulean and fight this Rocket Grunt before heading to Vermilion. Along the way I catch a few Meowths. You probably know where I'm going with this. Right now, the only things we can do are to fight the trainers on the SS Anne, the trainers north and east of Vermilion, and Misty. We're going to need a ton of healing items for Misty, so we might as well make use of Pickup to fill our bag while we take care of these other battles. Now, real quick, I'm just gonna use this bug catcher on Route 6 as a quick example that I am fucking committed to this challenge. His Butterfree only knows the moves Supersonic, Poison Powder, Sleep Powder, and Stun Spore. Confusion gets reset when you switch out, Sleep and Paralysis don't matter, and I have 2 incredibly overleveled Pokemon who are immune to poison. There is no possible way I can lose this battle. The outcome would be the same if I just used moves to breeze through it, but god damn it, I switched for the cumulative 100 turns it takes to drain all of Butterfree's PP and let it struggle itself to death. Anyway, we beat just about everyone on the SSN, and it's time for a battle with Asswipe. I haven't been going into detail about many of the battles, but some, like this one, do have a fair bit of strategy involved. Here's a quick summary. Pidgeotto and Raticate go down to poison. I always lead with Lisa so she'll get some experience, then swap between Smile and Smile until the enemy is poisoned, and watch it whittle them down. Kadabra is a special attacker, so we have to take all 25 confusions, which deal a fuck ton of damage, and I realize I only have 1 Hyper Potion, which I really don't want to use yet, and 1 Super Potion. Chad, Karen, and Gale take the hits from confusion, and the Super Potion is just barely enough to keep us up, and then we swap between Smile and Smile so Kadabra poisons itself with struggle and faints much faster, saving us from a lot of struggle damage. Finally, we get kinda lucky and Wartortle poisons itself early, but it does manage to take down Gale, Smile, and Smile, and with Lisa on red health, Wartortle just barely faints from poison. That was close. As a nice treat, Lisa gets a ton of experience and hits level 21, and evolves right after our victory. Won't be long now until we're ready for Misty. We grab HM1, and the SSN is all too eager to leave the moment our feet hit the dock. Bitch. We found a ton of items on board, and after selling them and beating nearly every trainer we can find, we have tons of money, lots more than I expected, so we don't have to rely on pickup right now. I buy 30 Super Potions and decide to give Misty a try. Turns out 30 is way more than we needed, and we beat Misty first try. Since Smile is ground type, we can bait Starmie into using Water Pulse and tank it with Lisa. Starmie uses Rapid Spin to avoid the type disadvantage, and we swap to Smile to poison her. We then go straight back to Vermilion and take on Lieutenant Surge. His Voltorb is actually his biggest threat since it's the only Pokemon with a non-electric special attack, and Sonic Boom really chunks down our health, so I have to use a Super Potion. For once, I actually wish Surge wouldn't waste his Super Potion on Voltorb, as Pikachu and Raichu go down easily to poison. Now that we have Cut and a Bicycle, I quickly take Diglett's Cave back to Route 2 and grab any items I missed between Pallet Town and Cerulean City, and then we're on to Route 9, Rock Tunnel, and Route 10 into Lavender Town. I know there's at least 1 mandatory battle with a Bellsprout between Cerulean and Lavender, so I stock up on Pokeballs and potions as usual. Alright, let's pick up the pace. As usual, we grab every possible item and heal at a Pokemon Center after every battle. We skip every battle we can on Route 9, fight almost everyone in Rock Tunnel because we're never coming back. Poison types are annoying, Bellsprout is a nightmare. Geodudes are annoying because they don't use Tackle and poison themselves anymore. Halfway through, we actually have to backtrack all the way to Cerulean to buy more Super Potions with the money we've earned. Avoid everyone on Route 10, heal at Lavender Town, avoid everyone we can on Route 8, catch a Growlithe on the way, and take the underground path to Celadon. Arcanine has solid defensive stats, and Intimidate will come in very handy against poison types and other physical attackers who don't make contact, and thus don't get poisoned. In Celadon, we find an Eevee at the top of the Celadon mansion, then head straight to the department store and buy a Water Stone to evolve him into a Vaporeon. Vaporeon has fantastic HP and special defense with passable defense, and Water Absorb makes it immune to water type moves. We also buy a Firestone and a Leaf Stone to evolve Buppo and Lisa, then head to the roof and buy one of each drink from the vending machine to exchange for 3 TMs, which we can sell for a profit. We also stock up on a ton of fresh water, which is the most cost-efficient healing item in the game. I can actually sell my 3 remaining Super Potions at half price, buy 5 fresh waters that heal the same amount, and still have $50 left over. Additionally, since freshwater only costs $200, same as a Pokeball, it's now our best item for stalling against Pokemon with Wrap. Of course, it's at this point I realize Buppo does not actually have the ability Intimidate. No, turns out I'm unbelievably stupid, and I caught a Growlithe with Flash Fire, and I've just saved my game so I can't reset to get my Firestone and Great Ball back. Ah. How nice. I quickly head to the eastern outskirts of Celadon and catch another Growlithe, paying very close attention to make sure it actually intimidates us when it appears. Luckily, Growlithe actually appears at slightly higher levels here anyway. We don't have the money for another Firestone anymore, so for now we'll just move on to the game corner. Shoutouts to the 2 grunts guarding Giovanni, one of whom has an Ekans, and the other an Ekans and an Arbok, all of which are at level 23 and have replaced Wrap with Glare. I love you guys. Thank you. We also come across a Moonstone while we're here, so I go ahead and evolve Smile into a Nidoking. After beating Giovanni, I collect all the coins in the lobby to exchange for a free Abra, because why not? Grab a Firestone to evolve Buppo Jr., obtain the tea from the mansion, then head back to Lavender Town with our new Self Scope, take down Asswipe, and may I note that Wada and Buppo take hits from confusion like fucking champs while they chug fresh water. While we're here, we catch a Haunter, which is going to be a valuable addition. Haunter has pretty bad stats, but it resists grass, double resists poison and bug, bug, is fully immune to normal, fighting, and ground, and can't be poisoned. I name it Shy, which of course stands for Stop Hitting Yourself. We make our way up the tower, leaving a few channelers for later, then take out the rocket grunts and get the Pokeflute from Mr. Fuji. And now, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'm going to go lay down and cry. The Pokeflute is an absolute godsend. After all the scrimping and scavenging we've had to do to buy dozens of items just to stall out a single Pokemon with Wrap or Bind, we now have an item we can reuse during battle infinitely for free. Another upside is that we no longer need to constantly swap Pokemon during battle if we don't want to, so we have even better control over HP management. We also don't need to swap between Smile and Smile just to keep Poison Point active, so we can say goodbye to Smile for now and make space for someone else in our party. And it's a small thing, but now I can just mash A during battles rather than having to move the cursor and navigate menus to swap Pokemon. On top of all that, the fact we can keep one Pokemon out for many consecutive turns means we can start making use of X items. Since there's no X Special Defend in Gen 3, the only X item that's really useful to us is X Defend, so I'll make sure to pick some up in Celadon. Now that we have the Pokeflute, I head straight south from Lavender Town to wake the Snorlax on Route 12. The Pokeflute allows Shy to wait out all of Snorlax's attacks, and once it starts struggling, I send out Smile to poison him. After about a dozen hits though, I recall that Snorlax is able to have the ability Immunity, which prevents it from being poisoned. I was expecting him to have Thick Fat, which halves the damage from ice and fire moves, but considering poison types are one of our biggest threats since they're immune to our primary way of dealing damage, I think I actually prefer this. We sacrifice almost our entire team's health pool to bring Snorlax down to a quarter of its health, and after several throws we finally catch him. Like Vaporeon, Snorlax has great HP and special defense, and average defense, making it ideal for both special and recoil tanking. Now, after catching Snorlax, our Pokedex is up to 26. We're going to take a few minutes to head through Diglett's Cave back to Route 2 where we quickly catch a Pidgey, Caterpie, and Pikachu. We also withdraw the Aber we got at Celadon Game Corner and trade it to this guy for his Mr. Mime, bringing our Pokedex up to 30. Having caught 30 different kinds of Pokemon, we're now able to talk to one of Professor Oak's aides who's hanging out on Route 11 waiting to give us an item finder. Conveniently, just a few steps away from him is a special location, the bridge where we just caught our Snorlax. If we stand on the exact tile where it was previously sleeping, using the item finder will cause us to automatically pick up a hidden Leftovers. Leftovers is a held item that restores 1/16 of the holder's HP every turn. This is a great held item in general, but considering even the quickest of our battles take a minimum of 9 turns, while the longest can sometimes surpass 100, Leftovers is going to give us an absolute ton of passive healing, especially when most of our Pokemon have very high HP. Leftovers is especially nice because it heals as much per turn as the passive damage from Wrap. Onix was already no threat anymore after obtaining the Pokeflute since it can poison itself, but now we can easily stall out Bellsprout and Ekans with Leftovers too. I give it to Smile, then cut through Saffron and Celadon to wake up the other Snorlax on Route 16. Just for the hell of it, I throw a couple of Pokeballs when he's at Death's Door and happen to catch him, but more importantly we can use the item finder again to pick up another hidden Leftovers. For now I give it to Eye Sleep since he's immune to poison, and conveniently we're just down the street from Celadon Gym, so we head in and make short work of everyone inside. Smile is by far the best wall against poison type moves, but I let Eye Sleep take most of the battles solo to level him up. While we're in Celadon, I restock our fresh water and buy a few X Defends and Burn Heals. From here, I'd normally take care of business in Saffron before heading south to Fuchsia, but today I have something else in mind. We carefully sneak past all the bikers on Cycling Road, and in Fuchsia City we go straight for the Safari Zone. After a couple Safari games, I've collected every item around the park, including the Gold Teeth and HM3. Along the way, I catch a few new types of Pokemon to keep filling my Pokedex. My strategy in the Safari Zone is to just immediately throw Safari Balls and hope I catch things. I never come close to running out of them. I don't fuck with rocks, I don't fuck with bait. With my extra steps from each game, I usually hang around in the tall grass where Chansey has a 4% spawn rate, and I actually come across 3 or 4 different Chanseys altogether. And I actually managed to catch one with my first throw. I name her How, because how the fuck did we pull that off? Similar to Vaporeon and Snorlax, Chansey has absurdly high HP and special defense, but pitifully low defense. This allows her to double as a special wall and a spectacular recoil tank with Leftovers. At first I was disappointed when I noticed How has Serene Grace, an attacking ability, instead of Natural Cure, which heals status afflictions upon switching out. But I have no shortage of antidotes and burn heals, and if we get slept or paralyzed, I'd rather not lose that status condition when switching anyway, since it blocks poison and burns. Also of note, I come across a random Tauros and somehow catch that on my first throw as well. The hell is this bout of good luck? After our time in the Safari Zone, we have tons of items to sell and can trade the Gold Teeth for HM4. We've also now caught 40 total species of Pokemon, so I ride back up Cycling Road to talk to this aide at the entrance to Celadon. He gives us an amulet coin, a held item that doubles the prize money earned after each battle if the holder participated. We've been doing great with money lately, but after our difficulty in the early game, we can never be too careful. I give the amulet coin to Buppo, since we pretty much always lead off with Intimidate, so he'll always be a participant, and he doesn't really need Leftovers. At this point, we're kinda juggling 7 main Pokemon, so unfortunately, I think it's time to retire Zig to the Box 1 crew. With Ice Sleep and How on the team, Zig will never be our best option for physical, special, or recoil tanking, and Cute Charm is neither reliable nor really that amazing of an ability for our party's needs. Okay, speed up time. I feel like tidying up some loose ends, so it's time to beat everyone everywhere, including the trainers we've skipped before. We beat all the trainers on routes 3, 24, 25, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 18, Mount Moon, Rock Tunnel, Pokemon Tower, Saffron Fighting Dojo, Celadon Game Corner, and Cycling Road. Along the way, we catch our 50th Pokemon and get an experience share, which will help tighten the level gaps in our team. We beat all the trainers in Koga's gym, and then Koga himself with Smile and Shy, who both double resist poison. As expected, it's piss easy. Now that we can surf, we beat everyone from Fuchsia to the Seafoam Islands, grab all the items in Seafoam Islands, beat the trainers outside Cerulean Cave and the Power Plant, grab all the items in the Power Plant, assert our dominance over this spiky boy, grab any other items that were previously inaccessible without surf, then return to Saffron to mop things up at Silphco. Take the elevator up to the 9th floor and use this teleporter, grab the card key, then start combing through every floor for items. Normally I'd take this opportunity and fight everyone in the building to level up, but with this place being overrun by Team Rocket, there's an overwhelming number of grunts with teams of 3, 4, even 5 weak poison types like Zubat with levels in the mid-20s, who won't give much experience, and I just do not have the patience to deal with them all. We're not exactly desperate for levels or money right now anyway. While we're here, we run into Asswipe. This is our first time battling him since the start of Pokemon Tower, and our party's come a long way since then. Poison Point makes quick work of Pidgeot and Growlithe, How shakes off Execute and Alakazam's psychic attacks like they're nothing, and Blastoise too faints from poison. Giovanni still can't do shit to us. In fact, the only moves he has that aren't normal type are Rock, Fighting, and Poison, making him laughably weak against Smile and Shy. After receiving the Master Ball, we can unload all the items we just found at the Pokemart. Now we've just got one thing left to do before heading to Cinnabar Island, and that's to whoop Sabrina's spoon-bending ass. We beat the trainers in the gym first, trying to get How as much experience as possible. Channelers still suck against her, Kadabras and Mr. Mimes hardly leave a dent against her with leftovers, and Slowpokes and Slowbros can be poisoned if they use Headbutt. Sabrina herself is a completely different story though. The only Pokemon of hers that makes contact is her Venomoth, which can't be poisoned, so we're going to have to take every single one of her Pokemon's attacks. Her Kadabra, Mr. Mime, and Alakazam all know Calm Mind, so they'll inevitably end up with their special attack raised 6 stages. Her Mr. Mime also knows Baton Pass, which will allow her to pass on stat buffs to her Venomoth, and since her Venomoth knows Gust and Leech Life, which are both physical in Gen 3, we can't risk using How to absorb its max power side beams. Now for the good news, our strategy is simple. Other than Gust and Leech Life, the only hits we'll be taking are from Psychic-type special attacks, making How with leftovers our best option. Whenever we're facing her Venomoth, we'll switch to Eye Sleep, also holding leftovers, for a better mix of physical and special defense. I don't foresee Gust and Leech Life doing much, but we can use an X-Defend or lower her attack with Buppo if needed. Once her Pokemon run out of moves, we can send out Smile to poison them. We've still got 80-something Freshwaters and a handful of Hyper Potions, Max Potions, and Revives. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to use most of them. Let's do this. First attempt, Kadabra strangely doesn't use any Psybeams until it runs out of PP for Future Sight. By that point though, its special attack is maxed, and each Psybeam is doing about 120 damage, far more than we can heal even if we use a Freshwater every turn in addition to leftovers healing. This is fine though, I have a backup plan in mind. Before making a second attempt, we return to Lavender Town and climb Pokemon Tower. I give How the experience share, put Eye Sleep first in the party with leftovers, then start walking around the 7th floor where we'll run into the highest level ghosts available. At these levels, Ghastly and Haunter don't know any attacks that can affect Eye Sleep, so they will soon resort to using Curse. We swap to How, then back to Eye Sleep, and the wild Pokemon will faint after using Curse a second or third time. If How or Eye Sleep ever get too low on health, we can heal up on the 5th floor. This is a very quick and predictable method for grinding compared to Poison Point, and allows us to focus all the experience gains on the Pokemon who need it, rather than training Smile even more. After grinding for a little while, How reaches level 50 and Eye Sleep is at level 41, and I head back to Saffron to give Sabrina another try. We can pretty much out-heal her Future Sights every 3 turns with just our leftovers, but with max special attack, Kadabra still does about 100 damage per Psybeam, and it has 20 PP, so we can't get by with just a Freshwater per turn. I'm gonna call this attempt a bust. I go back to Celadon again, and on the roof of the department store, I buy a whole bunch of lemonades. They're nearly as cost efficient as Freshwater, but heal 80 HP per use rather than 50. At How's current stats, leftovers heals her for 19 HP, so we can heal a total of 99 HP per turn and just about negate the damage from Kadabra's Psybeams. Mr. Mime shouldn't hit quite as hard, and Eye Sleep will be handling Venomoth, but Sabrina's strongest Pokemon Alakazam knows Future Sight and Psychic, which is going to hit like a truck and has 10 PP, as well as a chance to lower our special defense. So I also stop at Saffron's Pokemart and buy some Hyper Potions. Attempt 3, Kadabra's future sights don't do much, and we counter his side beams with lemonades, though we do have to use a hyper potion once when one of them crits. He poisons himself with struggle, and next is Mr. Mime. Side beams aren't doing nearly as much, only around 55 damage per hit, so we can easily stall them out with leftovers and a fresh water now and then. She uses Baton Pass and swaps for Venomoth, so we swap to Eye Sleep for better physical coverage. Side beam doesn't do as much damage as I was expecting, and we heal through it with leftovers and a fresh water every turn or two. Gust and Leech Life do practically nothing, and we actually out-heal it with leftovers. I let How and Eye Sleep heal back up with leftovers while Venomoth uses up her supersonic PP, then wait for her to slowly struggle herself to death against Eye Sleep. Mr. Mime is back out again and buffs herself, hitting How with a few side beams before using Baton Pass once again to swap for Alakazam. Psychic is terrifyingly strong as expected, but we're able to heal through it with a mix of lemonades and hyper potions. Alakazam actually mixes in future sights alongside its psychics, which makes him extremely dangerous as he has the potential to burst How down with 2 attacks at once. Psychic does lower How's special defense a couple times, so I swapped to Wada and Buppo to reset her stat alterations and heal up. I thought Wada might be able to take a hit from Psychic, being the 3rd best special tank on our team, but even he gets taken out in one hit. Before long, Alakazam is out of PP for Psychic, and Future Sight on its own isn't nearly as threatening. We can heal through it with leftovers and an occasional fresh water. Like Kadabra, Alakazam poisons itself with struggle. Twice. Thank you, Sabrina. We're down to just Mr. Mime, and after a handful of side beams, it's all over. She poisons herself with struggle, and we emerge victorious. We only use 23 fresh waters, 24 lemonades, and 4 hyper potions. Not bad at all, actually. Oh, and if anyone was curious, that final attempt lasted for 1 hour and 51 minutes. No emulator speed up for this one, by the way. We're setting out for the final chunk of the game and probably won't be coming back, so I stop at the Celadon department store one last time and stock up on freshwater, lemonade, X-Defend, and Burn Heal. We take Digltt's Cave from Vermilion back to Route 2, cut south through Viridian and Pallet Town, and surf to Cinnabar Island. We battle everyone on the way there, everyone from Cinnabar to the Seafoam Islands, everyone in the Cinnabar Mansion, everyone in Blaine's gym, and Blaine himself. His Ponyta and Rapidash actually know Bounce, oddly enough, and one of them paralyzes Wada, so we don't have to worry about burns. After Blaine, we slip away from Bill, and it's a quick trip back to Viridian City, where we beat up Giovanni for a 3rd and final time. I fight all the black belts in the gym since fighting types are easy for us to deal with, but the cool trainers all have 5 Pokemon each, including Onix, Nidoqueen and Nidoking, Marowak, Graveler, just real annoying lineups, so I avoid them. Every one of Giovanni's Pokemon knows Earthquake now, which is a major threat to Smile. I've been keeping the XP share on Shy for a little while now, and she's up to level 47, so I give her the 2nd leftovers and let her take point for this one. For both Rhyhorns, we lower their attack with Buppo, then swap to Shy to dodge Earthquake. Something I've noticed is that if our opponent uses an attacking move that doesn't affect us due to typing, such as a normal type attack against Shy, they will not use another attacking move of that type until we swap to a Pokemon without that type immunity, or all their other moves have run out of PP. But if our opponent uses an attacking move that doesn't affect us due to an ability, like Levitate or Water Absorb, the opponent will no longer use another attack of that type against any of our Pokemon until their other moves have run out of PP, or they get afflicted with a status condition. So after Shy dodges the first Earthquake, Rhyhorn stops using it, and we swap to Smile and wait for Rhyhorn to poison itself with Takedown. Then we swap between Smile and Shy on every turn until Rhyhorn faints. It tries to use Takedown or Earthquake against Smile, only for Shy to dodge it, and then it tries to use Rock Blast against Shy, only for Smile to absorb the hits and heal up with leftovers. Dugtrio can't hit Shy at all, so we use the same strategy until it poisons itself with Slash, and then just let Shy watch as poison takes it down. For Nidoqueen and Nidoking, we lower their attack with Buppo and then swap to Shy and let them waste all their moves. The only move they can hit Shy with is Poison Sting, which we easily out-heal with leftovers. Afterward, it's a nice, long wait as they struggle themselves to death, and I mean obviously Giovanni uses a Hyper Potion on Nidoqueen. What a guy. Right after that is another rival battle, and we use the same strategy as last time for a fairly easy victory. We speed through Victory Road, and I just avoid everyone. I gotta admit, I'm getting really impatient so close to the end of the game. Even so close to the finale, burnout has been overwhelming, and it's taken a lot of discipline after a few very, very long breaks to finish this out. We arrive at Indigo Plateau and empty all the useless items and TMs from our pockets, then spend our mountain of cash on max potions, revives, and a few full restores just in case. We have enough healing items to flood a small town, but I'm going to try to use them as smart and efficient as possible. We have 10 rare candies, so I use a few on How, Smile, I Sleep, and Wada. It's time. Lorelai's Dugong, Cloyster, and Slowbro only use special attacks, so Hao powers through them with leftovers, and some help from Wada's Water Absorb, until they poison themselves with Struggle. Unfortunately, this forces Cloyster to set up max damage spikes, dealing a quarter of our max HP and damage upon switching in, so we can't do any risky switches. Hail does negate the effects of leftovers, so I have to give Hao a fresh water periodically. Jinx only knows Double Slap and Ice Punch, so we wait for her to use up her Ice Punches on Hao, let her poison herself with Double Slap, then let Shy avoid the remaining attacks. Lapras knows Body Slam, Surf, and Ice Beam, so we start with Buppo to bait out Surf, then swap to Wada and absorb it. Expecting a Body Slam, I switch to Smile, then swap between Wada, Smile, and Shy to tank her attacks until she succumbs to poison. The spikes are really chunking our HP, and there are a few close calls, but we make it through without any of our team fainting, and a few of them actually leave the battle frozen or paralyzed, which will be great for preventing poison and burns. First battle down. Bruno's Pokemon knows some dangerous moves, but similarly to our last Giovanni battle, we can lead with Buppo to lower their attack and then dodge or utilize type advantage against most of them by swapping between Smile and Shy with leftovers. Machamp does still hurt a lot with Bulk Up Cross Chop though, so I have to use a handful of potions and lemonades and decide to just waste all his moves before trying to poison him off Struggle. Shy is immune to normal, fighting, and ground, Smile resists rock, and the only other move type we'll see is Onyx's Iron Tail, which, I mean, it's Onyx, it's Iron Tail. I'm not exactly quaking with fear. Or should I say, earth quaking? Yeah, Poison Point makes quick work of them. Agatha's up next, and it's Eye Sleep's moment to shine. As a normal type immune to poisoning, the first Gengar has no moves that can affect him. With help from Buppo's Intimidate and some fresh waters, Smile is our best combined physical and special tank against Golbat and Arbok until they faint from Struggle. Haunter is a bit of a dickhead with her mean look curse combo, but our Pokeflute at least makes Hypnosis and Dream Eater useless, so 2 curses and Haunter is out. Second Gengar's Hypnosis and Nightmare are also useless thanks to the Pokeflute, so we swap between Eye Sleep to dodge Shadow Balls, and Smile to shake off Sludge Bombs until Gengar faints from Struggle. Easy peasy. Every one of Lance's Pokemon knows Hyper Beam, so Hao is on the bench again. But since we can't really absorb Dragon-type moves, it's difficult to safely bait out Hyper Beams, so we can't rely on Shy to dodge them. But they all additionally know at least one move that makes contact, so we can just drown Smile and healing items while waiting for them to poison themselves. I also kind of forgot about X-Defends and the fact that I actually have them, since I've always avoided X items like the plague, but for this special occasion I use 6 of them on Smile, which has the bonus of discouraging Lance from using Hyper Beam since normal type moves are physical. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about random crits, and Smile does go down once to his level 60 Dragonite's Outrage. Not a huge surprise, but what does surprise me is that while I use a max revive on Smile, Buppo manages to take the next hit of Outrage at only level 37. What a tinky lad. I swap back to Smile and reapply the 6 X-Defends, and Smile guzzles lemonades while Dragonite's HP slowly ticks down. Aerodactyl went down quick, I honestly kind of forgot he was even there. Both of Lance's Dragonair know Safeguard and have the ability Shed Skin, which really just serves to drag the battle out much longer, but we win without any more problems. We've come a long way from recoil training on Metapods. Just one more battle with Asswipe between us and our much-deserved spot in the Hall of Fame. Leftovers go to Smile and Hao. Here we go. As usual, we start by lowering each Pokemon's attack with Buppo. Pidgeot goes down to poison without dealing much damage. Hao soaks up every last one of Alakazam's attacks before he poisons himself off of Struggle. 2 down. We swap between Smile and Shy for Rhydon, the same strategy we used against Giovanni. It works well enough at first, but sometime after poisoning him, an unexpected Earthquake takes down Smile, followed by a one-shot on Buppo while we revive her. But Rhydon faints from poison the same turn, and it's not hard for us to recover. Exeggutor now knows Egg Bomb, a powerful normal-type attack, so we swap between Hao and Shy to dodge Egg Bombs and tank Giga Drains, then let Smile poison him. Blastoise still knows Bite, which makes contact, so we can poison him, but he also knows Hydro Pump now, which would probably take out Smile in one hit. We start with Buppo to lower attack, as well as bait Blastoise into using Hydro Pump, then swap to Wada to absorb it. With his Hydro Pump disabled, we can safely swap back to Smile, and it's only a matter of time before Blastoise poisons himself with Bite. From there, we can have Wada and Hao take Hydro Pumps and Bites, while Shy can easily dodge his Telegraph Skull Bashes. Arcanine deals some serious damage with Flamethrower, but his other attacks make contact, so we swap to Hao to tank a Flamethrower and bait out a physical attack with her low defense. We swap for Smile, and Arcanine poisons himself off Extreme Speed. From there, we can swap between Hao, Wada, and Shy until he faints. And with that, it's all over. 111 Fresh Waters, 27 Lemonades, 6 Hyper Potions, 3 Max Potions, 20 X Defends, 1 Revive, and 2 Max Revives are all we used on the Elite Four. Finally, it's over. It's fucking over. Challenge complete, done. Finito, no moves, fuck Pokemon, fuck you. Holy shit. But thank you for watching. If you'll indulge me, I have some parting thoughts to share. I want to start by saying thank you so much if you've made it this far. This is one of the biggest projects I've ever worked on, and it's been a tremendous labor of hate stewing in the back of my mind for the past 2 years. I began recording footage of this run on June 16th of 2020. On July 12th, I beat Giovanni and Viridian Gym, and I was so burnt out at that point that I saved, quit, and didn't continue for another 2 months. On September 25th, I booted up the game again, beat Asswipe, and made the journey through Victory Road, and with the entrance to Lorelai's room in front of me, I saved, quit, and didn't continue for another 2 years. July 23rd of 2022, I finally picked myself up and finished the final stretch. I've worried at times that I'd never have the drive to pick this back up and finish it, and it's such a relief to finally close this chapter. I don't even know what else to say. I feel like I should have more to say. Most of this script is 2 years old. It feels like a different person wrote it. I've moved out, made new friends, new experiences. So much has changed in my life and in the world we live in. Stay safe out there, okay? See ya.